Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double shot and
How's it going, everyone? My name is Chris, and welcome to the play-by-play version of today's Brickyard 400 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is the 10th year running we are going here to Indianapolis, and this is always a spectacle for not only just NASCAR, but also for IndyCar. This race is run a few months after the IndyCar series comes here for the Brickyard, for the Indy 500, excuse me. But we come here and later in the year in August for the Brickyard 400, and we run some NASCARs around here. So, should be a lot of fun today. And before going into today's race, we'll go ahead and take a look at the point standings before all of this. So, going into today, Zachary Smithly continues to lead the point standings. And after last time out at Pocono, which saw Bobby Labonte get his first one of the season, Smithly actually gained points on Jeff Gordon for the first time in 3 races, and he actually gained back quite a good chunk of points that Jeff Gordon gained on him throughout Chicagoland and even New Hampshire. And speaking of Jeff Gordon, he sits second. Ryan Newman sits third, with Jimmy Johnson sitting in fourth. Ricky Rudd in fifth. Kurt Busch in sixth. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in seventh. Bill Elliott in eighth. Matt Kenseth in ninth, and Jeff Green rounds out the top 10. And then you got the top 20. With some very notable names in here. Jeff Burton, one of the big names that fell outside the top 10 in points, is now 11th. Harvick 12th, McMurray 13th, Labonte 14th, who won last time out. And then you got Dale Jarrett sitting in 15th, Waltrip in 16th, Mayfield 17th, Tony Stewart in 18th, Jerry Nadeau 19th, and Mark Martin sitting in 20th. And then we'll go through the rest, just show it up through the top 40, the top 50, and then the top 60, which we're going to add some notable names to the point standings, I'm pretty sure. After today, because there is quite a lot of big things, a lot of big news going into today. So today we're going to see everything. We're going to see who's in the field, and we're going to see who can master the Brickyard. But let's go to the starting lineup for the start of today's race. So we are on the starting lineup for the start of today's race, and we'll kick it off in run number 1 with the current point leader and the rookie Zachary Smithly, who said in qualifying that his car was bad fast, and he is looking forward to today. He wins the pole for today's race, and Kevin Harvick will start to his outside. And in row number 2, you will find Rocket Man Ryan Newman, who's third in the championship right now, and to his outside is Dale Jarrett. Row 3 today, you will find Joe Nemechek with yet another amazing qualifying performance, and to his outside is the 17 of Matt Kenseth. Row 4, you'll find Jimmy Johnson still searching for a second win of the season. Today might be a good day for him and a good chance for him to do so. And to his outside is Kurt Busch, who is searching for his first win of the 2003 season. Number 5 is the Rushville Rocket from Indiana, Tony Stewart. And to his outside is Jeff Burton. Row 6 today, you will find Elliott Sadler and Jerry Nadeau with yet another amazing qualifying performance. Row 7 today, you'll find the rookie Greg Biffle and Terry Labonte. Row 8, you will find Dale Earnhardt Jr. and last week's winner, Bobby Labonte. Row 9, you will find Dave Blaney and Jeff Green, who is looking to bounce back after a rough couple of weeks. And in row number 10, a driver who is wanting to continue his momentum for the past couple of weeks, Mark Martin. And to his outside is Ricky Rudd, who is also looking for a bounce back over the past couple of weeks. Row 11 today, you will find Jeff Gordon second in points. Not a good qualifying position, but maybe today it'll be a little bit different. And to his outside is Michael Waltrip. Row 12 today is Tony Raines and Jamie McMurray. Row 13 today is Bill Elliott competing in his final Brickyard 400. To his outside is Sterling Marlin. Row 14, it is Jimmy Spencer and Jeremy Mayfield. Row 15, a couple of returning drivers in Christian Fittipaldi in the 33 and Hermie Sadler in the 02. In row 16 today, you will find Casey Mears and Johnny Benson. Row 17 today will be Rusty Wallace and Robbie Gordon. Row 18, you will find the return of Mike Wallace, and finally, David Green competes in his first race of 2003. Row 19, it is Kyle Petty and Jack Sprague competing in his second Crown Jewel race this season. He missed the Coca-Cola 600 earlier in the year due to injury, so he is competing for today, which is good for him. Row 20, we will find Larry Foy and Ricky Craven. Row 21 will be John Andretti and Kenny Wallace. And round of the field in row 22 will be Todd Bodine. And when I say there was a lot of changes, let me tell you, or a lot of different things going on, let me tell you, there's a lot of DNQs for today's race, as there is a season-high 10 DNQs for today's race. Those drivers being Mike Skinner, Brett Bodine, Wart Burton, Shelby Howard, Steve Park, Bobby Hamilton Jr., Carl Long, Ken Schrader, Kevin LePage, and Morgan Shepherd. Big list of names, and quite honestly, the biggest names here is Mike Skinner, Wart Burton, Steve Park, and Ken Schrader, as we didn't really know if they were going to have a DNQ thus far this season, especially for Ward and Steve, but those are the two big names going into today that I've missed out on the show. But a season high 10 DNQs for a race. That is insane. And then we have the track information for today's race. So the pit window will be around lap 21 to 25. And tires, you can make it around lap 9, or you can make it around 19 to 23 laps, depending on how you use them. And fuel, you can pretty much stretch it all the way to lap 25. It'll be around the lap 20 to 25 window. And we mentioned this back at Pocono, but all turns are similar to turn 2 at Pocono. Obviously, Pocono Raceway and all 3 of its turns are based off of different tracks and different turns from different tracks. And turn 2 at Pocono is every single corner around here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So some drivers are going to get it down, others may not. And let's just say that pole sitter, he's looking pretty good, especially with him saying that he loves turn 2 at Pocono. Well, he loves all 4 turns here at Indianapolis. So keep an eye out on that number 80 car. And then tire management, we mentioned earlier, will be key. You just got to savor your tires, and you just got to be able to get to the pit window, which is on lap 19. And the sooner the more conservative of your tires, the better, because then you can go longer past maybe lap 19 and maybe even lap 23. But it really just depends on how well you manage your tires. And then the question we've been asking all season long for multiple races is, are we going to have a new winner, or are we going to have a new multi-time winner? As with Bobby Labonte's win last time out at Pocono, that now makes 11 different winners. Those drivers being Zachary Smithly with 6, Jeff Burton with 3, Ryan Newman with 2, Bill Elliott, Jimmy Johnson, Jamie McMurray, Greg Biffle, Jeff Gordon, Dale Jarrett, Ricky Rudd, Dale Earnhardt Jr., and now Bobby Labonte with 1 win across each of them. So we're going to find out today if we're going to have another winner or a new multi-time winner. Who knows? But the only way to find out is by going on ahead and starting this race. So let's go on ahead and send it up to our good pals up at the NBC booth. And those guys being Alan Bestwick, Wally Dallenbach, and Benny Parsons.
Some $8 million in prize money on the line today, but more importantly, a place in the history of this great track for winning at Indy.
Yes, sir. This is big.
The canyon of fans that presents itself to the drivers coming down the front straightaway. They all talk about it, what a thrill it is to go racing down with grandstands on both sides of the track.
Yeah, it is. It's especially down the front straightaway. It's like going through a tunnel at 200 mile an hour.
Ready, BP?
I'm ready. Can these two cars get side by side through turn 1? I believe they'll at least try.
Pace car is off. 300,000 fans are on their feet, and the 10th running of the Brickyard 400 is about to get underway at Indianapolis.
Would you believe lap number 1 will go that number 80 of Zachary? He's been bad fast all week long, and he's going to continue to show it here at Indy. So he's got pulled out a bit of a gap over Kevin Hart behind him in second. With Dale Jarrett falling behind in third, and you got the Roush teammates of Kurt Busch and Matt Kenseth going at it for fourth place, with Ryan Newman just behind them. Their other Roush teammate, Jeff Burton, just following suit, side by side with Jerry Nadeau. Here comes Newman, side by side with Matt Kenseth down the back straightaway. And it looks like going into turn 3, Ryan Newman will take the position away. We look further back, Nadeau was out ahead of Jeff Burton. You see Bobby Labonte going after Burton. Jeff is the only Burton in this race. His brother Ward, like we mentioned earlier at the top of the show, missed out on making this race. Right now, he's in a pretty intense battle with the 18 and the 30 of Bobby Labonte and Steve Park and Jeff Green. Different timeline, because we saw Rusty Wallace actually back there coming down pit road. Not too sure what was quite up with that. See Jeff Burton continue to lose more spots. Now he just lost 2 positions to Bobby Labonte and Jeff Green. Almost said Jeff Burton for some reason, but we're talking about Jeff Burton. Now he's side by side with Terry Labonte on the verge of losing yet another position. Now he's going to lose another one to Dale Jr. That 99 car is struggling so far. It's not good. Going backwards in a hurry. As you see just up ahead of him, Jr. and Terry Labonte are going at it, and back here amongst this gaggle of cars, second place driver in the points, it's Jeff Gordon. He is stuck up there in the middle, trying to maybe get a good run, trying to maybe get around Casey Mears and Jeremy Mayfield. We mentioned at the top of the hour as well that he lost some points to Zachary Smithly, and he's trying to gain some back. And this could be a good opportunity for Jeff Gordon to do something. Oh, we kind of got a little bit slowed up there from Robbie Gordon just ahead of him in that Pennzoil Chevy. Gotta pay attention around here. A little bit further back there, you see Christian Fittipaldi and Jack Sprague going at it. Look at Hermie Sadler making a 3-wide just behind them, with Mike Wallace and Ricky Craven, excuse me. First time since Martinsville that we've seen the 09 of Mike Wallace compete. First time since the Coca-Cola 600, I believe, that we've seen Hermie Sadler compete. And I believe it's been the first time since, I want to say Atlanta is the first time we've seen Christian Fittipaldi compete. Maybe a little bit sooner. Maybe back at Richmond. A little bit further back there, you see David Green, the 60. He has DNQ'd a lot this season. And currently he sits 42nd. Not dead last, but 42nd. Trying to get used to that car. That is essentially a 5th Hendrick Power car with Haas sponsorship. Right now he's just kind of stuck up on the outside just behind Todd Bodine and Larry Foyt. And to his inside it is Mike Wallace and Kenny Wallace and John Andretti. So look further back there, you see Rusty Wallace in the 2. Now, initially, we couldn't really show the replay of what happened to him. But we'll go on ahead and show it here and show you guys what happened to Rusty Wallace, because it's a little bit interesting as to what happened to him. We'll show it on the bottom of the screen. See, Rusty kind of made a little bit of contact with Robbie Gordon ahead of him, and coming out of turn number 4, and unfortunately, it kind of cost him. And in turn, that's what sends him down pit lane. To the angle from Robbie Gordon's point of view, Robbie just had kind of no idea that Rusty was going to stay up there on the outside. Unfortunately, Rusty kind of got put in the wall, unfortunately. And that's what sent Rusty down pit lane to get an early repair on his car that he was not hoping for, because Rusty had some high hopes going into today. Past winner of the Brickyard, and now he's not going to be in anywhere near contention. This man right here, Zachary Smithly, he is pulled away from Kevin Harvick as we're coming to lap 7. And he is just flying, going into these corners, coming out of these corners. It is absolutely insane, the things that Zachary is able to do in that car. Rusty looks like, because he came down pit road and repaired his car, he also got 4 fresh tires, so he's able to stay out ahead of Zach, even if his tires are about a couple laps more fresher than the race leaders. Still enough, though, that he won't go a lap down in this race, which would be nice for Rusty, because you might be able to try to bank on a caution to help him out. Meanwhile, Zachary Smithly continuing to pull away from the guy behind Kevin Harvick, as we see here, Kurt Busch going at it on Jarrett. Jarrett will keep the position just for now, it seems like. But Kurt seems like he's got a pretty fast car. That Roush Ford it wants to go. Don't know if these guys will really have anything for the race leader, considering the fact that Zach is now 4 seconds ahead of Kevin Harvick. If we look back, here you see Bobby Labonte, last week's winner, running solidly inside the top 10, as a matter of fact. Really, really good run for him. He's just kind of trailing behind Jerry Nadeau in the 01 and just ahead of Jeff Green. Got Terry Labonte in the 5 having a pretty good run. There you see Dale Jr. and Elliott Sadler might be going at it for position sometime soon. The Sadler for now will keep the spot. Look back to Bill Elliott in the 9 in his final Brickyard 400, just ahead of Mark Martin. See a little bit of a 3-car battle going on here between Jeff Burton, Jamie McMurray, and Sterling Marlin, the 2 Chip Ganassi cars going up against the Roush Racing driver of Burton. Burton's car is just not handling right. It is driving super slowly, and that is something that he did not want, or did not expect, I should say, to have happen. Go back, look at Jimmy Spencer in the 7, running really, really well in that Ultra Everham Dodge. Just ahead of a bunch of big names behind him. There you see Jeff Gordon. He's fallen way back now. He's up where Jeremy Mayfield and Ricky Rudd were at a few laps ago. Now he's dropped behind them, and even a couple others. Jeff Gordon early on in this race struggling. And that's definitely going to pose a problem for Jeff Gordon, because with this amount of struggle, this is going to cost him immensely in points if this is where he ends up by the end of today. See behind him, they're actually 3 wide a little bit. Go a little bit further ahead, you see Robbie Gordon leading kind of this little pack behind him. See Jeff Burton's able to break away from the 2 Ganassi cars. See Johnson trying to maybe get a little bit closer to Dale Jr., a little bit up ahead. You see Kenseth, Newman. Newman currently runs 5th. There you see Kurt Busch still trailing Dale Jarrett. Like we said earlier, he's got a fast car, and Kurt knows if he can get around Dale Jarrett, he's going to take any kind of advantage that he can to get around that 88 car, because Kurt thinks he might be able to win this race. He's still searching for that first win in 2003, like we mentioned. He's been going quite a while this season without a win, and at some point this season, his win's coming. We just don't know when. You see Jarrett, he's actually kind of arcing into the corner ever so nicely, throwing Kurt Busch off a little bit, but I think Kurt actually kind of threw Jarrett off a little bit, because he got a massive run coming out of turn 4. They're good, close to being side by side down the front straightaway, but Dale Jarrett will hold the position for now. So 3rd place is still Dale Jarrett's. To keep up this fight, they might go backwards into Ryan Newman and even Matt Kenseth in the 17 just behind them. It's the little things you got to pay attention to, and the little things you got to keep an eye out on. See up ahead, Zachary getting further out ahead of Kevin Harvick, now about hitting the 5-second margin, as he just enters into these corners so neatly and so tightly, making sure to keep his car pinned on that bottom line as best as he can. Zach will come across our finish line, and got about, I want to say, 7 to 8 laps until these drivers got to pit, or might be thinking about pitting, but we don't know about that quite yet, as we see the battle for 3rd going to heat up now. Look at Kurt Busch going around the outside of Dale Jarrett in turn 1. That was a beautiful move around the outside. He's going to carry the momentum into turn 2. He went a little bit higher, but Jarrett got a little bit squirrely on the bottom. That'll be just enough for Kurt Busch to continue the forward momentum that he had and grab 3rd. So now Kurt Busch, like we said before, we knew he can get around Dale Jarrett, and he did so. Meanwhile, back up front, Zachary is still controlling this race, still maintaining the gap over him and Harvick. See, it's down the front straightaway. He might be getting a little bit closer to Rusty Wallace in the 2 car, but it's kind of hard to tell. But he's kind of, it might not be slowly closing in on him, but it's such small margins that he might not be closing on him as fast as he wants. I don't know if he really wants to lap anybody quite yet, but also in turn 1, he is not able to hook the bottom as well. In turn 2, however, he is able to. Zach's main problem so far, he's mentioned it over the radio, is that going into turn 1, he just cannot turn down when he lets off the throttle. That's what he's been able to do. He's been able to let off the throttle, let the car coast in, doesn't need to use any brake. And then he picks it right back up in the center. Turn 3 was better that time. When he hits turn 4, yeah, he's pretty good on the bottom. Turns 2 through 4, he's really good. In turn 1, he just gets a little bit tight going into the corner, and that's what kind of kills the momentum that he has, and he kills the run. See if we can try to pin it to the bottom this time. And he got it was a little bit better this time than last time. Zach just might need to start using some brake. And look at the difference when Harvick goes into that corner. Huge difference from when Zach did it when we were looking at him. And even from Kurt Busch and Dale Jarrett as well, they were able to just pin that bottom line. Look a bit further back to Terry Labonte and Jeff Green. Terry might have an opportunity to go after Jeff Green, but it's going to be a little bit of a cat and mouse game if these two really start to get it going. Never really know what's going to happen between these two. Jeff Green is going to be able to get a better run out of these corners and keep that position ahead of Terry, and make darn sure that he ain't going to give up that position. And as meanwhile, further up ahead, Jerry Nadeau continuing his strong form today, just behind the 17 of Matt Kenseth. He's actually close to Kenseth, and actually Ryan Newman's closed in on Dale Jarrett in the 88. It's mainly due to the battle that Kurt Busch and Kurt Busch and Dale Jarrett had, that Kevin Harvick, as a matter of fact, has been able to drive away by a little bit over Kurt Busch. Meanwhile, Zach's just kind of off in his own little world. A little bit further back. Kevin Harvick maintaining a really good P2 over Kurt. And even though we're not focused on Zach quite yet, he is going to come off turn 4. And we are going to hit lap 16. We've been doing this since Pocono back in December. So let's go on ahead and do a lap 16 tribute for the late great Biffle. There was a lap 16 tribute to Greg Biffle. Greg's Rookie of the Year contender, Zachary Smithly, who's had a tremendous amount of respect for Greg after their little hiccup back at Talladega, where the both of them collided on the last lap. That caused Zach the win, but Greg got the better end of the stick of all of that and won it. Both have been really good friends, and it's great to see with those two. We miss Greg every single day, and to be honest with you, I'm pretty sure a lot of us, including myself, would have loved to meet that genuine, amazing human being. Back in the race, Kevin Harvick, I think he might be starting to close the gap on Zach just a tiny little bit, is because of Zach's issues with turn 1, it might be translating a little bit into turn 3 a little bit. We mentioned earlier how he might have to start using brake, but also pit stops might be coming up, because when during the lap 16 tribute, at least at the start of it, we saw Michael Waltrip was coming off of pit road. So Waltrip, he already made a pit stop, and he made it a couple laps before the pit window actually opened. But maybe something happened to Michael Waltrip, but I'll have to get an update on that of if Michael made a little bit of contact or something, because we have no clue really if he did so. And right now he's kind of hampering his teammate Dale Earnhardt Jr. because he was in the battle with Elliott Sadler, and now Walter just kind of put himself in the middle of all of that. Dale Jr. can't really dictate if he wants to say thank you to Mike Waltrip. He's getting really frustrated with Mikey, but I'd be getting frustrated with him because Mikey's not really doing a good job at helping Dale Jr. But this is also helping Jeff Green, but also up ahead. Look at Jerry Nadeau and Bobby Labonte going at it. Here comes Labonte to the inside of Nadeau, trying to grab a top 10 position. This is the battle for 7th. And Labonte try to take it. He might just tuck back in line just behind Nadeau. Got Kansas up there, sitting in 6th. Newman in 5th. Jared in 4th. Kurt Busch in 3rd. Jared actually trying to close back in on Kurt a little bit. And he might just do so, but he's going to have to be patient like Kurt was. And Kurt might be not having the same runs like he used to, but it might be because Dale Jarrett might be finding better runs out of these corners. Might not be because of Kurt's tires, or it could be because of his tires, but we'll never truly know. Because everyone's tires are going to start kicking in, maybe besides Rusty's right now and definitely Michael's. Because Mikey's going to be able to stay out there for a lot longer than anticipated. See Jared actually trying a different line, maybe trying to see if he can go around the outside of Kurt Busch. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do exactly that. So just stay behind Kurt. And with Zachary leading this race, if he comes around to complete this lap, he'll have led 20 laps in this race. There you see Zachary right there. If he comes around at least one more time to complete lap 21, he is guaranteed 5 extra bonus points for leading the most laps. Harvick can lead the next 19, or any other driver can lead the next 19 laps, and Smithly will still be earned the 5 extra bonus points for leading the most laps, because he's got 5 bonus points, or he's got 5 bonus points for leading the lap and 5 extra bonus points for leading the most. Got to be careful though, because it seems like his tires are starting to really go away. But also Zach, he said going into this race, he's looking to make history. He's at his 20th lap. We're also halfway through this race. Smithly is all about making history. He made history at Charlotte. He wants to make history here. But Kevin Harvick might be one of the guys that if Zach doesn't pay attention to his tires or try to manage his tires until pit stops. Harvick right back there. He might be a contender. He might put a damper on what Smithly's trying to do. So Smithly's got to be careful. Because if he ain't, that's going to be a problem for him. Further back, Dale Jarrett actually lost 4th place to Ryan Newman. So now Newman will set after Kurt Busch and try to maybe take 3rd spot away from Kurt, but I don't know. There's a bit of a gap between the two, so Kurt might be able to just run away with this. And now that Zach's completed lap 21, he's gotten the 5 extra bonus points since he's led from lap 1 to 21. So he's led 21 laps today, and he's got those 5 extra bonus points. That number 80 car is on it today. And in the 10th run in the Brickyard, it is definitely possible that that 80 car could make history, but we got 19 laps until the end of the race before we can even start talking about that, especially after pit stops. As a matter of fact, pit stops are going to be happening sometime soon. We just don't exactly know when. See Smithly rounding turn 3, entering turn 4. Smithly might be coming down pit road this time. He has talked about it. You can hear him slowing up a little bit. He's going to come down pit road. Oh, he looks up the tires a little bit. He hit it straight for the inside wall, but he's good. He is good. That was a little bit terrifying. Talk about Smithly trying to make history, and he almost just locked it up and slammed it into the inside wall. Harvick followed him in. Newman didn't follow them in. So Newman will stay out. He'll lead a lap. He'll get 5 bonus points. This is on the bottom right of the screen. There you see Smithly. Just behind him is going to be Kevin Harvick. Smithly's got the first pit stall because of winning the pole. There you see Kevin Harvick coming into his pit stall. Ryan Newman leading with just ahead of Dale Jarrett. It's going to be interesting because both drivers might be taking 4 tires. And oh, so Harvick, he actually got out before Smithly. Did Harvick take 2? We're thinking Harvick may have taken 2 tires. Smithly took 4. Harvick may have taken just 2. That was a little bit fast from Harvick. He came in quite a ways behind Smithly. He may have put on 2 tires. See Dale Jarrett just behind Ryan Newman coming into the pits. Newman will stay out for yet another lap. So we look at Dale Jarrett coming down pit road. Newman stayed out on the track, passing Robbie Gorin, Tony Stewart, or lapping them rather. He's going to try to lap as many cars as he can. Maybe he's trying to bank on a caution maybe to help him out a little bit. See Dale Jarrett just down pit road trying to get his car to his pit stall, get it serviced. See how fast he's going to be. He might also, we don't know if he's going to take 4 tires or 2 tires, but oh, he's out and away. So I think he took 2 again. He took 2 just like Harvick did. And actually between turns 3 and 4, Newman shot down to the bottom. Not only just to let Jeff Burns through, but also to let his hand out the window and say he's coming down pit road. So Ryan Newman, after leading 2 laps, getting 5 extra bonus points, he'll come down pit lane. And the soon-to-be race leader is that number 48 car of Jimmy Johnson. And he's going to pass Newman before the start-finish line, so he will get 5 points as well for leading a lap. Let's look at Newman down pit road. Newman might have a shot to win today, but he's going to have a long way to climb, or he's going to have, rather, a long hill to climb back up to the front. It's only going to be a matter of if and when that'll happen as he's out and away. See Harvick actually up there. You can kind of see him. You can also kind of see Zach as well. They both barely came into frame. Speaking of which, there they are. Harvick jumps Smithly, but Harvick isn't actually the leader. However, Harvick will be essentially the race leader if they come around and pass Johnson, because Johnson, I think, is going to come down pit lane. Let's take a look, and Johnson is coming down pit road. He's bringing Sterling Marlin with him. So Johnson's down pit lane. You see Smithly, he actually gained a lot of time on Harvick in turn 3. He'll gain some more in turn 4. Now the battle for the lead is heating up between Harvick and Smithly. Here comes Smithly to the inside, down the front stretch. Side by side for the lead as Johnson enters his pit stall to get his car serviced. And as they enter turn 1, Smithly grabs the lead back from Harvick. Smithly is not going to be denied today. He may have lost the lead, but he got it right back, and he got it fast. What a car that Smithly has today. Holy moly. He ran down Harvick like nobody else could do. Just ran him down and passed him. Just like he did kind of at the Coca-Cola 600, except he beat Harvick on strategy and utilizing lap cars. He was able to keep Harvick behind this time around. It was different. Look, Zachary Smithly, the lead once again, to lead yet another lap. So before pit stops, Zachary led 21 laps. And in between the pit stops, Ryan Newman led 2, and Jimmy Johnson led 2. So now Smithly has led in 22 laps today. That 80 car is bad fast, let me tell you. As we look behind Ryan Newman, Dale Jarrett, and Matt Kenseth. Newman actually kind of, because he waited a little bit longer to come down pit road, he actually lost some time to Kurt Busch ahead. But unfortunately, Newman isn't as close to Kurt as he was before the pit cycle. He's got Dale Jarrett closer than he would like, and even Matt Kenseth as well, the guy that we thought he'd be fighting for the championship by this point already thus far this season. But both those drivers are in different positions in points, and it is kind of crazy when you think about it. What's also crazy is that Dale Jarrett is inside the top 10, but he's close to the top 10, which is also pretty darn insane. Dale Jarrett trying to get a nice run and going into turn 1. There you see previous Brickyard 400 winners in Bobby Labonte and Bill Elliott. Bill Elliott's last year's winner. Bobby Labonte won this race in the year 2000. His championship winning season. Doesn't look like either of these drivers are going to be getting their second Brickyard 400 win or their second Brickyard 400 trophy. Not unless a caution comes out. But it is very, very unlikely that that might happen. Maybe, who knows? A little bit further back here, you see Jimmy Johnson, who led a couple of laps in between the pit cycles. He ended up behind both Bill Elliott and Bobby Labonte, but just ahead of Jerry Nadeau and Mark Martin behind him. So Johnson, really, out of all the guys behind him and in front of him, he's got the fresher tires, and he does have a pretty fast car, too. Behind him, you see Jerry Nadeau and Mark Martin going at it. Mark actually kind of sniffed a little bit of a move, fancied a move to the inside of Jerry Nadeau and didn't bother taking it. But twice. So Jerry Nadeau will hold on to his 9th position just ahead of Mark Martin. He's sitting in 10th. Watch out, because look at that pack of cars. Look at the train of cars behind him, starting with Jeff Green all the way down to Jamie McMurray. Those drivers are also pretty fast, and they can catch either of these two off guard and pass them for position. So these two better watch out, because drivers behind them, they are not remorseful. They show no remorse, and they will take the position away, even no matter how they do it. Further ahead, you see Ryan Newman and Dale Jarrett kind of pulling away from Kenseth and maybe kind of closing the gap on Kurt. There you see Harvick in second, and where's Zachary? Well, let's just say he's a ways away, a ways ahead. There he is. Going into turn 3, he's actually ahead of Rusty Wallace. So Smithly, who has a really fast car, something has been awoken under the hood of that number 80 Napa Chevrolet, and he is faster than he was earlier. As he heads down the front stretch and over the yard of bricks. 10 laps to go here at the Brickyard. And for Zachary Smithly to make history once again in his rookie season. Did not think we'd be talking about this, but now we are. We didn't really know if we were going to mention another Zachary Smithly, or rather just another rookie driver going out here and dominating this race, leading laps and making history. Now, what is that history that you may be asking? Well, the history that Zachary could be making is the history that Matt Kenseth made back at Charlotte in 2000, winning the race as a rookie. It took 3 years for this man right here, leading the race, Zachary Smithly, to win that race as a rookie as well. Today could be the same story. And speaking of Matt Kenseth, is the two drivers ahead of him, they're about to get into a fight. Ryan Newman and Dale Jarrett. Jarrett's actually closed the gap on Ryan Newman. Now, if and when he's going to take advantage and go for the position, that's going to be up to Dale Jarrett in that 88. Here he goes. Outside of Ryan Newman in the 12. Oh, he got a little bit squirrely in the middle of 2. Kenseth's going to close in on him. Jarrett actually got a good run and actually will pass Ryan Newman for 4th. Kenseth's going to follow suit, try to take 5th position away. He'll do so before they enter turn 3. As it runs a little bit higher in turn 3, Newman, ooh, kind of got a little squirrely on the bottom. There's a nice little battle going on here for P4 honors. Coming off a turn 4, Dale Jarrett has it. But I think Kenseth's actually got a really good run down the front straightaway. Is he going to take advantage of it? Doesn't do it quite right there. He thought about it. Look at how close all 3 of these guys are. Look at Kenseth go to the outside, pulling a Kurt Busch. This is exactly how Dale Jarrett got passed by Kurt Busch, and now Kenseth's going to try the exact same thing. And Kenseth's going to make it work, and Newman's going to pull a Kenseth and follow him through. So Jarrett, who was 4th, is now 6th. Newman's 5th. Kenseth 4th. This is a nice little battle going on here. Now can Ryan Newman try to grab 4th position back from Kenseth? Oh, Kenseth gave him the outside. He's going to keep it on the bottom, though. Here comes Newman on the outside. Trying to take the position away, and they come down the front straightaway. They might just be going right back to where they were a few laps ago. Jarrett had a really good run. He's going to make it 3 wide. He's going to follow suit behind Newman. He follows suit behind Newman. And Ryan Newman and Dale Jarrett both pass Kenseth. Ryan Newman back up to 4th. Jarrett back up to 5th, and Kenseth back to 6th. That was a fun little battle those three had right there. Each one of them got a taste of P4 for a lap. Because of that battle, that has allowed Kurt Busch in the 97 just ahead of all three of them to drive away, and he might have just secured P3 from just that battle alone. See Bill Elliott having a really good run in his final Brickyard 400, just ahead of Bobby Labonte and Jimmy Johnson. Here comes Johnson, gonna go to the outside of Labonte. Gonna try to take 7th place. Excuse me, 8th. A little bit, they both kind of got a little bit tied in each line of the track. But Johnson gets a better exit, and P8 is his. Bobby Labonte will slip back to P9, and now he'll be in trouble if Mark Martin catches him, but Mark isn't really catching him quite yet. See, Kenseth actually closed in on Dale Jarrett once again. Seems like Kenseth's going to take the little run that he had and maybe try to do something with it as they head down the back straightaway. Jarrett's going to be able to hold it. Look at Kenseth. He actually, I don't know if he was going to try to dive into the corner, but I don't know if that would have worked as well as he may have thought it would have, or he just wasn't close enough. He just wasn't close enough to do it, so he'll re-rack it and try it again, and maybe he'll get to him and pass him. We all think he will. He's got a pretty fast car. Meanwhile, up ahead to the 80 of Zachary, still leading. Now over 10 or almost 10 seconds. Actually, he is 10 seconds ahead of Kevin Harvick in P2. He slapped Rusty Walls, and he's catching the back of the big train, or the big pack of cars, starting with David Green in the 60. We mentioned earlier in this race, Zachary Smithly wanted to come into this race and make history just like he did back at Charlotte. We also mentioned it earlier as well. He's trying to do what Matt Kenseth did back in the year 2000, where he won the Coca-Cola 600 as a rookie and was the first to do so. Now, here at the Brickyard, over the course of 10 years that we have raced here, not one rookie has gotten this close to not only just winning the pole, but leading the most laps and being on the verge of winning here at Indianapolis. His team boss, Jeff Gordon, has won this race 3 separate times. Dale Earnhardt has won this race in 1994. Bobby Labonte, like we mentioned earlier, won this race in 2000. Bill Elliott won this race in 2002. If Zachary can complete 3 more laps, he will add himself to the list of drivers that have won this race, and he will be the first rookie ever to win the Brickyard. You see, he goes to the inside of David Green. He's going to be able to get the position on him. Or not really get the position, but he is going to put him a lap down. Not really a good first outing for David Green, but hey, if he gets another shot, he might have a better race here at Indy. This was just his first. But here are the list of drivers that have won this race from 1994 to 2002. Jeff Gordon won the inaugural race in 1994. Dale Earnhardt won this race in 1995. Jarrett won this race in 96. 1997 was Ricky Rudd. 1998, Jeff Gordon was the first driver to win the Brickyard 400 twice. In 1999, Dale Jarrett added his name to the list of drivers that have won this race twice. Bobby Labonte in his championship winning season in 2000 won this race. Jeff Gordon, up to this point, is the only 3-time winner of the Brickyard. And last year, Bill Elliott, who right now sits inside the top 10. And today, history can be made again. And Smithly is all about making history and adding his name and breaking records at big tracks. White flag is out one more time at the Brickyard. Smithly will put Kenny Wallace a lap down, and that means that all 3 Wallace boys will be a lap down in the field. But if Zach can just get through turn 2, the back straightaway, and turns 3 and 4, the taste of victory and the taste of history being made will be his. As he heads down the back and enters turn 3, gets a nice entry into the corner, gets a little bit high, but no competition really behind him, so he's good to make a little bit of mistakes. He's got to get through turn 4. He's home free. Zachary Smithly, for the 2nd time this season, is going to make history. He is the Brickyard 400 winner. Zachary Smithly makes history yet again. 2 wins that he's had this season has come on 2 Crown Jewel event races. The Coca-Cola 600 and now the Brickyard 400. Zach can now say he's won at Charlotte, Daytona, and now the Brickyard. And now there is only 1 race that he has yet to win, but he did so good at earlier in the year, and that's Darlington. If and when that'll happen, we don't know. But we have to get there before we could even answer that question. But like we said, Zach's all about making history, and today, he did exactly that. He makes history once again. What a job well done for Zachary Smithly and that entire number 80 organization. Doesn't get any better for the young kid out of the Pacific Northwest. Great job to him. He deserves it. And now we can say that a rookie has won the Brickyard 400. Didn't think we'd be saying that this season, but we also didn't think we'd say that back at the Coca-Cola 600, so color us all surprised in that case. But let's go on ahead and take a look at today's finishing results coming out of today's race. So, Zachary Smithly wins for the 7th time in 2003 and gets his 2nd Crown Jewel event win in his rookie season. Dominating the race, leading 36 of 40 laps, getting 5 regular points for leading a lap and 5 extra bonus points for leading the most. This in his 2nd is Kevin Harvick. Kurt Busch with a 3rd place finish today. Ryan Newman ends today in 4th. Matt Kenseth ended up passing Dale Jarrett there towards the end and finishing in 5th. Dale Jarrett in 6th. Bill Elliott in his final Brickyard finishes a solid, nice P7. Jimmy Johnson finishes in 8th. Bobby Labonte finishes in 9th. And Mark Martin with yet another top 10 finish. Mark Martin's on a string of good races thus far. It is actually insane that Mark is doing really, really well towards after the halfway point of the season at Daytona. After we went to Daytona, there we go. It has gone uphill for him. And you got Jerry Nadeau finishing in 11th, Jeff Green in 12th, Terry Labonte finishes in 13th, Sterling Marlin finishes in 14th, Greg Biffle in 15th, Jamie McMurray in 16th, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 17th, Elliott Sadler in 18th, Jimmy Spencer with a solid run in P19, and Tony Stewart at his home track finishes in 20th, the same place as his card number. Then Jeff Burton, after a really rocky day, finishes in 21st. Robbie Gordon in 22nd. Ricky Rudd 23rd. Joe Nemechek, after starting 5th today, finishes in 24th. Jeremy Mayfield in 25th. Jeff Gordon finishes in 26th. That's going to be a heap amount of points that he's going to lose after today. And Kyle Petty in 27th. Casey Mears 28th. Michael Waltrip at 29th. And Jack Sprague in 30th. Seems like the short pit strategy that Waltrip was hoping that would work. Unfortunately, it didn't. And you got Craven finishing in 31st, Dave Blaney 32nd, Larry Foyt 33rd, Christian Fittipaldi in his first race back 34th, Johnny Benson in 35th, Tony Raines 36th, John Andretti 37th, Todd Bodine 38th, Hermie Sadler with a 39th, and Kenny Wallace in 40th. And then the last three positions of Mike Wallace in 41st, David Green 42nd in his first race, and Rusty Wallace finishes in last. Not a good day to be a Wallace. Definitely a race to forget for the Wallace brothers of Kenny, Mike, and Rusty. Pretty sure they would like to forget this race. Probably now, if you think about it. They probably like to forget it now. But that'll take some time for them to not think about it anymore. Which, like we said, it'll take time. It'll be fine though. But that is it for this race. What an amazing race. What an amazing win by Smithly. Who knew that we would see him make his own history again? It is absolutely insane. What's even more insane is the driver standings. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So, let's talk about it. So, coming out of Indianapolis, Zachary Smithly remains the points leader at 3,045 points. He is currently the only driver at 3,000 points coming out of today's race. And this is also the largest points gap he's had over second place in the championship because of Jeff Gordon's not so good finish of 26, or his decent finish of 26, pales in comparison to Smithly's win. Zachary Smithly is now at a season high 327 points ahead of Jeff Gordon in second. And you got Ryan Newman in third, Jimmy Johnson in fourth, Ricky Rudd in fifth, Kurt Busch in sixth, Matt Kenseth up to seventh, Bill Elliott in 8th, Dale Earnhardt Jr. down in 9th, and Jeff Green rounding out the top 10. And you got Jeff Burton in 11th, Kevin Harvick in 12th, Dale Jarrett 13th, Bobby Labonte in 14th, Jamie McMurray in 15th, Michael Waltrip 16th, Jeremy Mayfield 17th, Jerry Nadeau in 18th, Tony Stewart in 19th, and Mark Martin still inside the top 20, and solidly inside the top 20. 21st is Sterling Marlin, 22nd is Greg Biffle, 23rd Tony Raines. He has been on a bit of a free fall as of late. Terry Labonte in 24th, John Andretti in 25th, Rusty Wallace in 26th, Elliott Sadler in 27th, Joe Nemechek 28th, Kyle Petty in 29th, and Johnny Benson rounds out the top 30. And then Casey Mears will be 31st, Ricky Craven 32nd, Ryan Blaney, what the, that's we're like 23 years behind. What are we doing here? Or 23 years into the future. What am I talking about? Dave Blaney, 33rd. Steve Park down in 34th after missing today's race. And Robbie Gordon finally cracks the top 35 in that DEI #1 car. Pretty good for him. You got Kenny Wallace in 36th, Ward Byrne in 37th, Larry Foyt in 38th, Todd Bodine in 39th, and Jimmy Spencer now inside the top 40 after his top 20 finish here at the Brickyard. You got Ken Schrader 41st, Mike Skinner 42nd, Jack Sprague 43rd. Sprague almost has 1,000 points, so that is pretty good for him. Jason Keller 44th, Scott Pruitt in 45th, Mike Wallace up to 46th, Christian Fittipaldi 47th, Casey Atwoods 48th, Remy Saller in 49th, and Kerry Earnhardt is now 50th. You got Shelby Howard in 51st, Buckshot in 52nd, Derek Cope 53rd, Kirk Shelmerdine 54th, Bobby Hamilton Jr. 55th, Brevodine 56th, Kevin LePage 57th, Morgan Shepard 58th, Borisov 59th, and David Green. First race, last in points in 60th. Could be worse, but now we've had 60 drivers that have competed thus far this season. Wow. Just wow. But hey, 60 drivers and still a lot more racing action left for the remainder of the season. It's gonna be a fun one. But we will take a week off, mainly for NASCAR 07. So I apologize for your guys' sub boxes for the next week. I hope it's not too bad, but no promises. Let's say that much. But the next race, when we do return to racing action, I don't know what that was for. Our first race back in racing action, not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday following, on the 18th, April 18th, is going to be the Sirius at the Glen 355, I guess. It's just called Series of the Glen, so we're just going to call it Series of the Glen 355, or the Series 355 at the Glen. It just, I'm used to it being, I'm used to the 355 there, so to me, it just makes sense. But it's our second and final road course of the season. We all know how it went the first time back at Sonoma, in Finion, again, 2003, not 2026. Schedule, but if we've learned anything from Infineon, Zachary just might win that race too. It just really depends, but we'll have to wait a week. We get our week off. I mean, then again, this series has had multiple weeks off, even months off, so hopefully this coming one will be the final one and we can truck along and finish the series off with a bang. So that is going to be the main thing that we're going to be doing, and doesn't get any better than that, trust me. But on behalf of that, that is going to be it for today. So before we go on ahead and end it for today, congratulations to Zachary Smithly on getting his 7th win of the season, his 2nd Crown Jewel event win, becoming the first rookie in NASCAR Winston Cup Series history to win the race as a rookie. Good job to Zach. We're going to see if he can go back to back at the Glen. It might happen. Thank you all so much. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great day, everyone. I love you oh so very much. And I'll see you all in 2 weeks' time at the Glen. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody. Happy Easter. Not only just a happy Easter Sunday, which is when this video is going to be out, but hopefully if you guys weren't able to celebrate Easter on Sunday today, hopefully Easter Monday will be good for you guys as well. There'll be NASCAR 7 videos out more than likely on that day too, so be on the lookout for that. But hope you guys have a great Easter Sunday and Easter Monday, and I'll see you all later. So have a great day, everyone. Love you oh so very much. Congratulations to Zachary Smithly again, and I'll see you all later. Have a great day, everyone. Love y'all, and goodbye.